So let's see if we get the screen and some 5x5s. We'll go from there, see who our champion is this time. And here comes my screen. So hopefully you guys can see me now. And Lisa holding her title at the 5x5. Okay, a couple other people and we will be good. There we go. Jacob's in there. Jacob, you're slowing down lately. All right. Well, good evening, all. Happy Tuesday. God knows what the weather's like with anybody. It's 60 in places, it's snowing in places, and here I get both. I mean, it's 20 degrees in the morning and 65 in the afternoon. Crazy crap. So glad to see everybody, or at least see you on the screen here. So have a little bit of fun. Lorna said this afternoon this will probably be a crazy one. I get the feeling it's going to be, but that's good because we all have some fun doing this. So I wanted to start out tonight real quick. I don't know how many of you guys watch The Angry Prepper. I'm assuming quite a few probably do. Jason is kind of an acquired taste, but I consider him a friend. I talk to him quite often. He did a video today about preppers not always being right and people getting on us saying, "Oh, you said this was going to happen and it didn't happen." Okay. And I'm going to agree with them here because none of us are Nostradamus or even Gene Dixon. And hell, we're not even close to Jimmy the Greek, if any of you guys remember who he is. Okay. But, there's people dog on me every once in a while. "Oh, you said the market was going to crash by the end of the year." Okay. And I said a couple of weeks ago, maybe my timing was a little off. The calendar, guys, is man-made. All right. It's just, the world isn't going to be one way on December 31st and another way on January 1st. That was my guess. It looks like I'm going to be wrong on that, but I still stand by my convictions that the economy is in the toilet. And anybody that disagrees with me, that's your choice. No problem. But I will tell you one that a lot of us have been talking about, you guys, me, other channels, other people on other channels, everything, that Christmas is probably the end all be all to everything. And this is what companies are stocking the shelves and everything, getting everything they can. So it's a good Christmas season before the whole world comes apart. And again, if people want to come back 3 weeks from now and say, "Well, it didn't happen," okay, maybe. But that's not what prepping is. Prepping is preparing for, "Oh my God, this is a possibility. How do I combat it?" All right. But this is why I say Christmas. Report out of the White House this afternoon. Biden's White House is preparing for a, quote, "coronavirus tidal wave in January." Now, we've already seen New York, California, inevitably other states are going to go, or have already gone back to mask mandates starting tomorrow and going through mid-January. God forbid you have grandma over for Christmas and, the kids can't give grandma a kiss and say thank you for the presents. But this is what's going on. And I dollar to a donut bet you that we will see pictures out of this White House Christmas party that's coming up that there won't be any masks to be seen. Okay. Because if you're a politician, you have natural immunity. If you're in Hollywood, you have natural immunity. If you are Joe Schlepp working, a regular 9 to 5er, or hell, you're a farmer and work a 5 to 9er, you better have that mask on, So it's those things that we prepare for, if now all of a sudden that we've all been saying for weeks, if not a month, that wait till Christmas is over and that's when, the rug gets pulled out from under us. Now all of a sudden Washington's saying the same thing. I've said before, sometimes I swear to God, the news channels and the politicians watch the prepping channels and go, gee, I wonder what's going to happen next. Let's go check the prepping channels and figure it out because they know a hell of a lot more than we do. We may not be right on everything, but we sure as hell seem to be right on a lot of it. All that stuff that they called conspiracy theories for the last 2 years. A lot of them seem to be accurate, didn't they? Just kind of an interesting observation I made. And just one other thing too. You're seeing all these stories again about uh, the mandates being ruled unconstitutional, yet some companies are still doing it. I saw a story today about Kroger, saying now that they're going to be the next ones to charge their employees $50 a month extra, uh, if they aren't obeying the unconstitutional mandate. There's stories, you got some of these Congress people, I guess somebody out of Illinois is saying that they've got a bill in front of the state legislature there saying that if you haven't got the poke, that you've got to pay out of pocket for all your medical care. And I really get a kick out of that one, because hasn't it been for the last, I don't know, since 2008 and that little thing called Obamacare, that the Democrats have been saying, everybody must buy health insurance. Okay. So now that you've rammed that down everybody's throat for the last decade, now it's like, that health insurance that we forced you to buy, now you can't use it. Somebody figured this out. Okay. So those are just a couple of things I wanted to bring up this evening to start here. So we'll keep it a little shorter tonight, have a little bit more fun time with you guys. So as usual, want to say thank you to everybody for being here. Moderators, Lorna, North Shore, Jacob, Robert, Lucky Dame. Thank you guys all for being here once again. Keeping the riffraff out, even though you let Constantine in anyway. But good evening to everybody and good morning in Russia. Nice to see y'all show up. So if you are new here, this is what we do here. We do on Tuesdays and Saturday nights. It is open Q&A for you guys to run the show, not me. So this is the time where I talk about what you want me to talk about. If you have a question for me, please put it in all caps. But of course, I always encourage everybody to have conversations in the chats because I don't have all the answers. God knows I maybe have half if I'm lucky. But between all of us, we probably have pretty damn close to all of them. So if I don't have the answer, somebody in here probably does. What I do ask of everybody, please keep it PG-13. As I've said many times, your teenagers have heard the language that occasionally slips out of my mouth. Your 6-year-old probably doesn't need to hear it yet. So, please keep your comments PG-13. The moderators have carte blanche, guys, to toss anybody for being a pain in the ass. You want to start belittling somebody else in the chats or anything like that, disagreement's fine, but being rude is not, and, trolls are not welcome here. So the moderators, get rid of them immediately. There is no 300-second timeout. We just toss them, which kills me because I know we still have the trolls show up, because you guys will laugh at this one. The video that Mrs. P and I made yesterday from going to the food drive, okay, which 20,000 some odd people of you guys watched. And again, thank you everybody who contributed either financially or just with prayers and thanks and by watching the channel and doing whatever. Thank you to all. But we had to have 7 people thumbs down that video. Now, people want to thumbs down my videos. Hey, I get it. You don't agree with everything I say. No question there. There's a lot of things I say that people aren't going to agree with. But how the hell do you say, oh, this sucks, for a group of people, this whole family, donating over $1,000 in food to charity? Like Mrs. P keeps saying, I've just got haters. Haters gonna hate. Okay, that's fine. So like I said, if you want to be a troll, don't plan on being around here long. You may be able to watch the video, but you ain't gonna be able to talk anymore. So we just get rid of you. Okay, so that being said, how this works, I start from the top, I read down to the bottom. 1,000 of you guys in here right now. You go faster than me, so I will go as fast as I can to answer questions, but I want to give good answers to them. Some take 2 seconds, some take 2 minutes. There's no question, or nothing is off limits to ask. However, I do ask you this. YouTube has some rules about things that we can talk about. And so nothing talking about November 2020, nothing talking about this little friend, and nothing talking about the weather, if you guys know what I mean by the weather, Al Gore, that weather. And please leave the FJB and the LGB comments out. That's YouTube does not like those at all, so that'll get me in a lot of trouble. So, okay. So that being said, hey, I got done in 10 minutes today. Good. That being said, let's get to the top and throw me some good questions tonight, guys. I'm kind of wound up a little bit about some of this stuff going on. So let's have some real thought-provoking. You guys have my mind going in 12 directions every week. It's like, all right, we're going to talk about gardening, and the next question's on politics, and the next question's on gold. It's like, okay, I'm bouncing around. Make me think tonight. Annabelle, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. So let's go as far as I can to the top and see what we got. Rooster says, it can stay normal with no SHTF. That means I'm still stocked. Not a bad trade-off. I will absolutely agree with you guys there. As much as we all say, oh crap, shit's coming, by no means do I want it to. I don't want the market to crash. I don't want the economy to crash. I don't want marauders running down my street, and I don't want people getting followed home, robbed in parking lots, shot in liquor stores, whatever it is. No, trust me, I don't want that. Okay? I want us to be prepared in case that does happen, but believe me, I am not asking for anarchy by any means. I'm asking for better government, but no government is not better government. John Kelly says, hi from Minnesota. Good day to you all. Okay, I hope you're staying warm up there because you're probably getting snow already. Like Treasure Seeker said this morning, she sent me that video from Donner Pass in Wyoming. Obviously, Wyoming and Minnesota are 1,000 miles apart, but it's not like Minnesota stays warm in December. Let's see. Scrolling. Montana Grizz fan, price alert, Albertsons in Montana has choice beef rib roast for $6.97, I'm assuming a pound. Yeah, super cheap. I mean, all things considered, yeah, that's cheap. So, and Albertsons is all over the place. I know they were in Chicago for a while. I don't know if they're still there. But yeah, if you find $6.97 for rib roast, that's a good price, especially since how some people like prime rib for Christmas. Ace Maduro. Okay, see, I do make mistakes, and I will admit that every time, but caught me on this one. Only liberal politicians and celebrities have natural immunity. There you go. Yes, exactly. Smart ass. The Cushnet Prepper, on your recommendation, I bought the Nutcracker Barbie DVD for my granddaughters. Watch that movie. You will finally understand the story, like I said last week. I mean, believe it or not, I enjoyed it. It was actually, as an adult, okay, it was a good movie. They did a very good job of that. I was very impressed. Robert Bates makes a comment here. Do not give out personal information. Yes, very true. I will say this to you guys again. If two of you agree between the two of you to share your contact information, I'm more than happy to facilitate that. If Mary says, send John my email, and John says, send Mary my email, I'm happy to do that. What I don't do, guys, I don't keep your emails. All right. So it's not like, if anybody's in West Virginia, feel free to give them my email. I don't keep those. Okay. I do those for a couple of reasons. One, you can imagine the bookkeeping it would take me to do that with. Okay. 57,000 people sending me emails. Forget it. Okay. Not going to happen. Two, Proton Mail doesn't give me that much server space to keep thousands upon thousands of emails. And three, most importantly, for your security reasons, you can pretty much bet I'm on a list somewhere, guys. Okay. Hell, they see my face every day. It's not like, somebody can't get my IP address if they want to and figure out exactly where I am and everything like that. Last thing I need somebody to do is come and go, hey, Pinball, we're confiscating your computer, and poof, they have all your email addresses. Nope, guess what? That's why I don't do it. So, yeah, please don't share your personal information here online. It's the internet, guys. America First is that everybody see the dollar store isn't a dollar anymore. It's $1.25. I don't go to the one I go to is Dollar General, just because they seem to have a little bit better selection of product. Not everything's Chinese crap. Dollar Tree and I divorced years ago. Dollar General's always had stuff, up to $5 or whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, I know Dollar Tree, Family Dollar has gone to $1.25. Whichever is, oh, it's only a quarter. No, that's a 25% increase. Okay. Think about anything else. Think about if your mortgage went up, your rent went up 25%. I'd say gas, but gas is already up 50%. But let's add another 25% to it. So for where gas prices are, let's say on average we're about $4 a gallon across the country. So let's just say gas went up to $5 a gallon. That would be 25%. That's the hike that they've added there. That's about the best singing you're getting out of me. Okay. Prepper 007. Okay. I tell any Democrat that takes up for Biden, I tell him Hitler is dead and never coming back. But they're sure trying. And I don't know, Klaus Schwab seems to want to be Hitler, and Fauci's got Joseph Mengele to a T, so we're good there. David Williams, Pinball, Lorna, Mammy K. Roberts, Inside Russia, my entire Patriot family around the world, a very good evening, Merry Christmas, and Greater New Year from Central Mexico. There you go. Okay. Hello, David. Duckman, yeah. Anyone else can't find black olives? Oh, that's going to be dangerous. That I haven't heard, but I haven't looked. But, having a little olive tray is always something that I have for Christmas, and black olives are on there. Mrs. P likes green olives, so we have green olives on there. And I told her the only thing green olives are good for is martinis. But that doesn't go over too well in the house. Scarlet Brimstone, did I hear about the supposed texts from Trump Jr. to his dad about January 6th? I saw something really brief, a headline on it today. Who the hell was talking about it? I didn't even read the story, because everything I'm reading about Mark Meadows and that whole fiasco, it's just spin, 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 spin. So I don't pay I don't pay any attention to it, but I did see a headline on something like that today. But no, I don't have any details on that one. Bella Fourth, all Maine counties are red again due to the Big C. I'll believe that when I see Angus King replaced, when I see Susan Collins replaced. Be nice, let's get rid of some of the independents that are actually Democrats and the Republicans that are actually Democrats, and then go. I'd like to see Maine go back to normal, because beautiful country up there, Maine, and it's a pity to see beautiful country like that go in the toilet, because of Democrat mismanagement. Something I'll say here, guys, this, and y'all know what I've talked about in the divorce forever. I'm beginning to get to be of the opinion that just let all the cities turn into Seattle and Portland. Let them have their liberal utopia, where it's everybody likes, everything's like San Francisco, where, you've got to walk through the minefield as you're going up the sidewalk, or you've got to have barbed wire around your building and, bars on the windows. If that's liberal utopia, let them live in it. Let them have it. Okay. Just don't expect any money from us. This is what you want. You figure it out. You don't want police? It's fine. When the murder rates are going up, don't ask us to help you with more cops. Okay. Nothing like that. Duckman, yes, is green olives can't find. Okay. Now we're canceling Christmas if there's no black olives and green olives. I'm sorry. Healthy disrespect for authority. It was probably 7 vertically challenged men. Okay, I don't know what the context is, but at least in that case, I've got a real good alibi. Let's see. Brian B., I think you were right about the market crashing. One word, Evergrande. Yeah, and if you guys, I know a lot of this international finance and stuff like that with a lot of people. So a lot of it for me is right over my head, and I worked in the industry for 8 years. There apparently is bigger problems brewing in the China bond market than Evergrande, which that one I'm watching, but I want to see what happens with it. But when Evergrande was something like 15% of their GDP, and you've got bigger problems, that's real worrisome. Jared, thank you for the super chat. Zach's dad 777 pinball. I'm selling all my stocks and investing in boxes of DEF. Well, let's see if it's diesel exhaustion or diesel exhaust fluid, maybe that might work. If it's an abbreviation for defense, that would work. If it's an abbreviation for Def Jam, maybe not so much. Okay, I don't think rap music is going to be a real good place to put your money right now, but so whatever you do. I'm also hoping you don't have a large portfolio. Let's put it that way. If you're selling out of everything, actually, I'm hoping you do have a large portfolio. I'm just hoping you don't liquidate the whole thing and put it into one of those. CE Gann, will I help the person who you tried to convince to prep when they knock on your door for help? Excellent question. Okay. And, it's funny that you say that, because obviously for, last Thursday and then yesterday, here we donated food, toys, whatever it would be, to people that didn't have the ability. Mrs. P and I actually helped somebody out personally today with some food and things like that to get through the holidays. All right. So, that's just something that we did. Somebody that we know was having some hard times, so we helped them out. There's a caveat to your question. Will I help the person who I tried to convince to prep when they knock on your door for help? It depends. Did they have the means to or not? If this is a person who is, I know, worked hard, was doing everything right, and, was just hanging on by fingernails, yeah, I'd help them. If this was the person who decided, hey, you know what, I want the Mercedes in my driveway and a house with a $3,000 mortgage payment, and I'm walking around with a Prada bag or something like that, no, go eat your Mercedes, go eat your Prada bag. Okay. That's almost going to be on a case-by-case basis. The other part of it that's going to come into is what can they, and again, remember, we're talking SHTF here, okay? What can they bring to the table? The barter side of things, all right? They need some help. Are they just coming to the door saying, hey, we want to go back to our Mercedes and our Prada bag here in our mansion, but, we don't have any food. Can you give us some food? No, okay. Hey, we've got our Mercedes and our Prada bag and everything, but, we ran out of food or something. What can I do to get some from you? Trade me the Mercedes, right? No, I don't want the Mercedes. It's a useless car, especially in SHTF. I need a truck. I always need a truck. It's all I fit in. hey, I'll go out and split a cord of wood for you or something like that if you guys will have us to the dinner table. All right, there's gonna be a lot of decisions. Okay, like anything else in life, you can't really put a blanket policy on everything. Some guy comes to my door with a gun and says, "Give me food." Okay, I can pretty much guarantee you that there's from a 45-degree angle, there's going to be bullets going out the door before anything comes in the door, because God knows Mrs. P not going to anything like that, not going to let me go to the door without me being backed up. So just think about stuff like that. Okie Forge, I heard if you have haters, you're a success on YouTube. Okay. Whatever. Define success. The fact that we all get together. Boy, say that fast. If that's called successful, then I think we're all successful. All right. So let's see where are we? All right. We got shot to the bottom. So we go back to where. WTFW, thank you for the super chats. Let's see what he say. You and Mrs. P are some of my favorite people in this crazy world. Hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you. Warrior Cheryl Ann, thank you as well for the super. Yep, I guess that's a super chat, not a sticker there. Thank you both, guys. Wilderness Woman says, everyone needs to watch all texts and such. Found hubby and I had some, but not all. Copying blindly to an unknown number. I'm switching to a more secure email. Freaky. Yeah, anybody else notice that you're getting a lot more spam texts and spam phone calls lately? I mean, I've got a couple of thousand numbers blocked in my phone, and I will still get a couple of calls and a couple of texts a day. It's just they're out there. I mean, if I answer, see, because remember, sometimes I need to answer the call too, just in case it's a potential client or something like that. So I've got to answer these calls. And when somebody comes up and they've got this very distinguished accent, my answer is, so how's the weather in Delhi? And usually they hang up right away. So, Angry Homesteader, does anyone know if mainstream media said anything about the payroll hack? I didn't see anything anywhere on any of the channels. Now, I don't follow ABC, NBC, CBS, or anything like that. I mean, that's useless. I mean, who the hell am I going to get it from? Joy Behar? Again, if she stops Biden stops too fast, you're going to need a crowbar to get Joy's head out of his ass. But I didn't see anything at all today. However, a bunch of you guys came out and said, yeah, it went down on, I guess, what was it, Friday or Saturday at 9:00 or something like that? And they were saying it was technical difficulties or routine maintenance or something like that. And then the story's finally coming out now. So figure we're going to hear about it eventually from the media, but usually what it seems to be is by the time the mainstream media picks up on it, we've already been talking about it for 2 days, which I get a kick out of, because it seems to me all the prepper channels that I follow and you guys follow, like somebody sent me something from Monkey Works today and I hadn't even seen the video yet. Told me about it, start looking at this. Just to give you an idea, apparently we had our 135s flying around Crimea today. Our 135s are spy planes, guys. And so I did a little digging to find it and finally found out of international press that there were some Ukrainian ships that were borderline going into Russian territorial waters. Could that have been it? Don't know. But this wasn't reported anywhere. But why all of a sudden we had 2 spy planes flying there over the Black Sea near the southern tip of Crimea? That was kind of interesting. Didn't see that anywhere in mainstream media either. But God knows we can see every word that comes out of Fauci's mouth. Okay. Lisa Preps, I keep seeing videos popping up with WW3 Russia troop movement hype truth. Okay. And if Constantine's still here, yep, he is. Well, at least he's below. He's going to tell you the same thing I've been telling you. This is a couple of 100 miles away from the Ukraine border. It's still sovereign U.S. territory, or I'm sorry, sovereign Russian territory. they can move troops wherever the hell they want. They can go right up to the border and stand there with their toes on the line, and that's fine. If they want to take 100,000 troops and make a 60-mile long line towing the border, that's perfectly acceptable. It's their territorial land. They can do whatever the hell they want. Like I said, look at Miramar, look at Fort Bliss. You know, this rhetoric, this, oh my God, something's going to happen. You know, personal opinion, Ukraine and the West are pushing this, trying to goad Putin into doing something. And I think Putin's a lot smarter than doing that. All right. And I've said this on a couple of videos too. If there was anything, Donetsk and Lugansk are pretty much the only thing that I think Russia even is concerned about. And again, that's me speculating. But I think this is all getting hyped way too much. And everybody, breaking news. As soon as I see that sort of crap, it's like, okay, no credibility, move on to the next one. Tennessee gal, my Knoxville sister there. Anyone else beginning to notice the plant-based food ads on YouTube, agenda being pushed? Yes, and it's getting a little interesting because there are more and more and more of them, you know, trying this alternative food, you know. Let's think about this, guys. For years, they've been talking with you on the non-GMO, right? Genetically modified. Somebody explain to me how you take, I don't know, pick something, kale, and turn it into a hamburger. Tell me that's not genetically modified. Okay? Yeah. I mean, you look at those plant-based burgers. Go look at the ingredients in some of these plant-based meats, and yeah, the first ingredient may be soybeans or whatever it is, and then look at the list of chemicals that's underneath it. That's what they want you to eat. It's plant-based. It's not plant, period. Okay, you want plant, go eat a carrot. If you want the plant, that's the carrot. Making a hamburger that carrots are part of your ingredient is not a plant burger, okay? It's a chemical burger. It's just, Autumn West, Kroger has black olives. Good. Kroger can keep their black olives. They can, you know, they can try to do whatever they can until they stop screwing over employees. They won't see a penny from me. Costco has black olives. There's no Costco anywhere near me. I'd have to drive an hour to get to them. That's not happening. Rita Timothy, seeing more people from Colorado these days. Me too. Okay. And again, I don't know the context, so I apologize. Lori Jans, do I think we're into the 7 years of tribulation? I think it's very possible. And, you know, the signs are pointing that way. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, I see I'm at halftime. We'll see when I finally find on the screen that we're at halftime. Corn Pop 2.0. Thoughts on current U.S. economy to compare to Weimar Germany economy? Pretty close. I hope to God we don't get to the point where it's wheelbarrows full of money to buy a loaf of bread. But, you know, guys, we've talked about this too. Republics usually last for about 200 to 250 years. We're 225. Okay. Fiat currency, same thing. I mean, I mentioned in, I think it was Saturday's live stream. You go back and look at a map of the world in 1900 and go look at a map of the world today and see what countries no longer exist. This was only 120 years ago. Okay. You know, you had the Ottoman Empire. I mean, mind you, 1900 was pre-Soviet Union. Okay. So you had the Soviet Union be created and fall in that time period. You know, you take a look, go through Africa and all the different countries. You know, Zimbabwe used to be Rhodesia. You know, pick anything like this. Empires fall, and the United States is primed for it. Economically is probably the way it happens. And the Weimar Republic is a very good example of how. Now, Germany obviously came out of it. What did it take for Germany to come out of the Weimar Republic economic disaster? World War II. Okay. Again, this kind of goes back to what we were just talking about, where I say, I think the West is pushing all this crap with Russia and Ukraine because that's their idea for how to get us out of an economic fiasco. The thing that bothers me, as I've said many times too, is I think China Taiwan is 1,000 times more worrisome than Russia Ukraine. I think Iran Israel is 100 times more worrisome than Russia Ukraine. Yet too many of the leftists in Washington, and enough of the conservatives, don't get me wrong here, still have their head in the 1980s going, Russia, 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 Russia. I mean, it reminds me of an old freaking Brady Bunch, Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. Instead, it's Russia, Russia, Russia. But just, yeah, we're very, very close to it. Look at, something more recent in history. Look at Venezuela. Venezuela is a good example where you had the state taking over all of the industry, okay, making all the decisions. Venezuela, basically their economy was built on oil, all right? The state took ownership of all the oil companies. Now, fortunately, the United States has a diverse economy, but look at what the state is trying to do. The state is trying to dictate to all the companies, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. It goes right back, you look at 2008, 2009, and the bailouts of like the auto industry and stuff, and all of a sudden the government was telling GM and, who was it? Ford didn't take it. It was either Ford or Dodge that didn't take the bailout money. I forget which one. But they were dictating to the companies what to do. That's where we are right now. Our government is trying to dictate to companies how they are going to run their business. That's what caused the disaster in Venezuela. Because you tell me, how much knowledge does, pick a congressman, pick a senator, how much knowledge do they have about the trucking industry, the grocery store industry, the computer industry, the hospital industry? Maybe one or two might know something a little bit about it. Hospital maybe more because you do have a few doctors there. But if you look at the politicians and we talked about this too, politicians by profession, most of them are lawyers. Again, no useful skills. Yes, there are business owners and doctors and everything like that. Most of those are conservatives. The liberals are the ones in charge, the lawyers, okay? And again, the only good place for a lawyer is the bottom of the ocean. Long answer, sorry. Rooster, Pinball, I wrote early today on your video, we are getting the darned runaround between a silver dealer and the post office. Should have been here December 2nd. Help with advice. It's insured AppMax. Well, okay, fortunately it's insured. Somebody else, I remember a story a couple of weeks ago. Somebody had said they bought something, I think it was from SD Bullion, where they got an empty box in the mail. Now, we all know that there's issues in shipping companies. I mean, there was the guy that just got jail time the other day for FedEx for dumping like $250,000 worth of packages into a ditch somewhere. It would not put, I'm not going to say everybody in the post office is up and up. Very possible that it got stolen. Fortunately, it's insured. I put the claim in, and if the package ever does show up, okay, then, tell them, hey, go back and say, you guys gave me my $200 or whatever for the insurance. The package finally made it. Here's your $200 back or whatever. I mean, obviously you don't want to turn into a thief, but put the onus on them. Hey, package is supposed to be here. It's not here. Either, give me my money back. It's insured. I mean, that's what the insurance is for. The excuse of, it's lost somewhere. No, if it's lost somewhere, until I take receipt of it, it is still your responsibility. So You know, the fact that they are the shipper, the fact that they didn't put insurance on it, that does not relieve them of being liable for it. They are taking the risk that their product doesn't make it to their seller. So they are the ones liable to give you the money back. That's what I always laugh when they say, do I want to pay for insurance? No, you need to be paying for insurance. Boy, that's hard to read. Dynaro 24. Let's see if I can read it here. I've been trying to save for an EcoFlow generator for my apartment, but it's $1,000. I took your advice and ordered a smaller generator so at least I can have something while I continue to save up. Okay, so now what you need to do with something like that is do a test with it so you know what its capabilities are. If you got like the EcoFlow 600 or something, the smaller one, plug your refrigerator into it, whatever you're going to be using, and see how long it lasts. Please don't try to plug a space heater into it. It's not going to work. Okay, but if you're using it for your refrigerator, use it for your freezers or something like that. Plug it in and see how long it lasts, just so you know. Because, as I said to you guys before, having one generator is great, but unless somehow you can figure out how to have solar panels outside and it wired in directly to your generator and plugged in at the same time, that generator is eventually going to run out of power. And even if you did it what I just said, it's still going to run out of power. How are you going to keep whatever you're running when you're out trying to charge the generator? Because remember, it's pitch black here. Okay, can't charge that generator right now. So if I don't have power, I've got to be going off a battery. So, but glad you at least got something. It will, depending on the size you got or whatever, keep a light going, or keep a small refrigerator, small freezer, keep some of your food safe, do whatever you need. So you got something. Something's better than nothing. Okay. Doug 11156, Bear Independent could use our support. Yes, guys, I talked about this on Saturday. Same thing. Grindstone Ministries, that is the charity. He's one of the, I believe it's something that he helped organize. But they have made a trip up to Kentucky to help there with whatever they can. Then I also told you about Jody from this channel, who made a trip to, I think by the time Jody, my mistake, Jody is not female, Jody is male. So all those guys that were giving him shit, okay, that was my fault. I was wrong. My apologies. But I think he said that they got some 50 some odd people that were going out there to help do whatever, so, guys, any help that you can give, but Grindstone is the big one. I know, like I said, Bear's running that one. They are doing food and shelter and anything they can. So, rather than a bunch of because somebody asked me if I was going to do something, I don't have any connections there and I'm not going. Somebody that's going, I'd rather have the donations go that way, because instead of a bunch of little piecemeals here, one group can do a lot more with the whole bundle and everything. I think most of you guys know Bear Independent. So, very upstanding person. Inside Russia, Constantine, Maine is my state. Susan Collins was a senator when I lived there 25 years ago. Politicians cannot stay in office for so long. Something like that happens in Russia, not in the USA. That's the problem. Okay. And this is where it gets, the last I saw something like, I think it's 68 or 70% of the American public wants to see term limits for Congress. Okay. The only problem is, the only way that we get term limits for Congress is if it's a constitutional amendment. And there's only two ways that happens. Either we have a constitutional convention, which of course then we need 3/4 of the states, or Congress does it. Well, Congress is not going to vote to put themselves out of a job. So the only way then is if you get a constitutional convention, which means 3/4 of the states have to say we want a constitutional amendment. So the chances of getting term limits, unless we start getting a bunch of politicians elected who are saying I'm pro term limits, and then they stick to it, we've got to get rid of some of these 80 and 90-year-old wackos, Pelosi, Schumer, Maxine Waters, McConnell, you know, the people that are still living, that think the Cuban Missile Crisis was last week. So, that's the thing. I mean, it seems to be that the Generation X, Generation Y politicians are a lot more pro term limits. Let's hope for future generations that can change. But yeah, like you're saying, I mean, Susan Collins has been there forever. I mean, hell, Joe Biden's been in Washington for 52 freaking years. He's never had a real job. As much as he'll say he drove a truck, he did whatever, he's never had a real job. Bernie Sanders never had a real job. But God knows they've got rich off of fleecing all of us. Okay, a couple of you guys on olives still. Da, 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 da. Okay, Grace Akers makes a good point. Can you please tell the group about Proton Mail and how it can help with internet security? Sure, a good topic. Okay. Y'all know that my email address is pinballpreparedness@protonmail.com. Now, there's a big difference between why I use Proton Mail and why I don't use Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo Mail or anything like that. Okay. Proton Mail is based out of Switzerland and it is in a non-trackable server. Okay. So where you're typing something in your Gmail address and Google can go boom, 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 and pull all your emails, no problem, because it's all housed there. Proton is not. So if you're interested at all in your internet security, everything is encrypted. So even if they could pull something off a server, all right, it's going to be all ones and zeros. Nobody's going to be able to read your email. So for OPSEC, Operation Security, communications, especially communications you have about your mag, I'd suggest Proton Mail. It's free, guys. You get, hang on, I'll tell you in a second, 500 megabytes of storage, okay, which I go through about every 2 weeks. But I also get 100 emails from you guys a day. So, yeah, that's a good point. I'd suggest doing that. It's kind of like a VPN for your email. Let's put it that way. It's just a lot more secure. Angie Moritz, they're doing F-16 night maneuvers in my area for the next 3 nights. Oh, lucky you. So that should keep you awake if they're going to do low-flying maneuvers too. Per Kayla, love your videos. So much helpful information. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate it. And my pleasure to help as much as I can. That's kind of why we all do this. Like I said many times, you guys give me ideas for videos. You guys give me tips and tricks that I don't know. I learn just as much from you guys as you guys learn from me. And there's a lot of stuff that you guys tell me that and I'll take a step deeper and turn it into a video so we can spread it out a little bit more. I just happen to be the one who's got the platform. All right. It doesn't mean I got all the ideas. Be little. How tall are you? My wife and I are guessing between 6'5" and 7 foot. You're right. I'm 6'8". My opinion on Elon Musk, Autumn West. He's good entertainment. Okay. Other than that, I think he's your typical eccentric billionaire. All right. He's not afraid to speak his mind, which I do respect. Okay. Some of the things he does, I think are stupid. But some of the things I do, people think are stupid. So, if anything I can say about him is he does seem to have fun with life. And that's a good thing because we all need to try to have a little bit more fun, especially with what's going on now. A lot of us are like, all the time, and you gotta stop and have a little bit of fun. And that is so important to keeping this thing straight because, y'all know prepping can get to be over consuming. And all of a sudden, if that's all you're doing, you'll hit burnout. I guarantee you finally say, screw it, I'm not doing this anymore. And then that's a disaster. You need to remember to live your life today, but also prep for tomorrow. You can't only live for tomorrow because eventually there's going to be a day that there isn't a tomorrow. So, you know, don't, my grandmother said this to me a long, long time ago. I think I was about 7 years old, and we were taking them to the airport, and I had made the comment, I wish I could fly on a plane. I'd never been on a plane at that point. And she said to me, don't wish your life away. Very good. That was very wise advice. Okay, there's everybody talking about how tall I was, how tall I was. Sheena Ketovore Life. Do I think the talk about LED pipes in the USA will be the next pandemic and just like that? Because, okay, I don't understand the question at all. LED pipe or lead pipes will be the next pandemic, and then just like that, the money hasn't passed. I don't understand what you're asking. If you can rephrase it, I'll come back to it again. Cherokee Survivalist Skills. Hello, December 17th, my birthday. My brother will be 57. Well, happy early birthday here a couple of days. So we'll miss you by a day on Saturday. So have a wonderful Friday. Bjorn Anders Bull Hansen's in here. Hey, Bjorn, good to see you. And we just shot all the way to the bottom, so I caught him just before. Let's see if I get back to the top again. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Guys, again, I've seen a couple of comments in here. Please, no comments about this in the video. Nothing on Al Gore and his weather beliefs, and no comments on November 20th. YouTube does not like those. I don't need another strike on the channel. I don't feel like spending 2 weeks in jail again. So please, yeah, as Lorna says, last warning, no pokey talk. Romy Davis, I've been eating deer meat all my life. If you cook it right, no worries. Yep. True. And I saw what you were going there before, but yeah. Ace Maduro back to what we're talking. Wouldn't lawyers at the bottom of the ocean be pollution? Hey, sharks got to eat too. So let's see. Okie AG, politicians' knowledge or understanding not likely. That's why they're in office. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's an old saying, those who can do, those who can't manage. Okay. And you guys know my difference between management and leadership. Okay. Politicians are exactly that. Most of them can't do anything in the real world. So the only thing they can do is talk a big game. And most of them now can't even do that. Again, fortunately, we're starting to see some politicians coming back in from the private sector, but again, it needs to be a stopover in a career, not a career. I mean, I've got no problem with the guy who owns the hardware store running for Congress and being a representative for 8 years and then going back to running his hardware store. Cool, go for it. What I don't like is the ones go, I'm going to run for Congress, then I'm going to run for Senate, then I'm going to run for president, then I'm going to go write books, And gee, you know what? I was an absolute moron as a president, one of the worst in history, but I'm going to get paid $5 million advance per book so I can own 4 houses. I wonder who that might remind us of. Let's see. Miss Kitty Cat, formerly Linda S. Check the wattage for the generator to be sure it can handle it. Wattage meters are cheap. Yep. I mean, and that pretty much goes without saying. I mean, if you've got an 1100 watt generator, it's not going to run a microwave oven that usually runs on 1100 watts because you need more to start it. So just because you've got a generator that's this big doesn't mean it's going to run your furnace. Uh, you got to have the right size tool for what you're trying to do. Again, same thing. You're not going to go out and bust concrete in your driveway with a little handheld hammer. Same thing with a generator. You got to have the right size to do what you're trying to do with it. Felix Schmidl, Kroger, what's up? They came out and said that they're going to ignore what the court says, and they are still going to require everybody to get this. If they don't, they can still work there, but they're going to get charged an extra $50 a month in health insurance premiums, and they will not be allowed to get paid time off should they get sick. They can't, where if you have it, you can get PTO. If you don't, you just have to take it as unpaid time. So yeah, Kroger's kind of basically sticking it, again, this is corporate America trying to determine, saying we're more important than, we make the decisions for your life. My answer to Kroger is good. My dollars make the decision for your success in business. Guess what? It works two ways, and I got more control over you. Which kills me because you're seeing all these companies now. Was it New York today? There was some state today that changed the rules on healthcare and mandates because they lost so many people, and the hospitals are starting to get busy. They need the nurses all to come back, and so they back down on the requirements. Like we all said, that's how it's going to happen. All right. Eventually, the companies are going to go, holy crap, we can't operate with no employees. Thinking past here. And North Shore says in here, questions in caps will not be seen or answered. Yeah, guys, all I'm doing is looking for stuff in caps. I just scan right past everything else. So, Awesome Sauce 753 says yes to government term limits. Treasure Seekers term limits should help get rid of the loiterers buying the votes too. Yeah, and you need fresh ideas. Again, like I said, having all these people in Congress that still think it's 1970s, 1980s, and Brezhnev and Khrushchev are still running Russia. We don't need any more pounding with shoes on tables, okay? But ask Biden, and it's probably, who was it? Somebody today, I can't remember where it was. Somebody today was talking about Russia and said, well, the Soviet Union's doing this. I'm like, Jesus Christ, today's the 30th anniversary of the fall of the Soviet Union, and you haven't figured it out yet. And this was some politician. I'm like, I don't care about you saying, oh, gee, I slipped up. How the hell do you slip up 30 years later? It's like calling Turkey the Ottoman Empire, okay, or saying East Germany still exists. Sometimes you guys get me fired up. Robert Bates, did I hear about the impending egg product shortage in Massachusetts? Just from what you guys were talking about in the chat beforehand. No, I haven't. I saw what you and Jacob were mentioning. I think it was the two of you. But no, I don't know anything about that one. Fingirl ECG, do I have a VPN with my Proton Mail? No, it just used regular Proton Mail, and it's all encrypted itself. Leopardappy girl. You guys get creative with this stuff. EMP Shield having a Christmas sale, can stack their coupons. Nice. I talked about EMP Shield maybe about 9 months ago or whatever, and they wanted to know if I wanted to promote their product or whatever it is. And, like I said, I don't do sponsorships. You guys know that. I find them irritating when I see them on videos. I skip them. But I can't, I've never used it, so I can't speak about it. But a lot of you guys have told me it's like cars today, are well enough shielded. I don't know how the hell a whole house one would work. Okay. And then, your typical Faraday cage is pretty easy to build. I mean, just get a metal box, line it with cardboard, so no metal's showing. and you've just built your Faraday cage. Oh, and by the way, microwaves do not work as a Faraday cage, just so you guys know that. Oh my God, it's 9 o'clock. Okay, one more question. Rooster says, everybody in the family, please beware extremely heavy winds coming in tonight and through tomorrow night. Very similar to last week. I did see something like that. There's a front coming down. Looked like it was coming down from over, say, the area from eastern Montana to maybe Minnesota and kind of a swath down over the Mississippi. So covering like Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Kentucky, all the way down here. So it's going to be interesting with some heavy winds. Guys, when you get some of these alerts on your phone or weather alerts, take them seriously. There were bad stories out of Kentucky that I heard that Candle Company told people when the sirens went off, people asked the boss to go home so they'd get in their storm shelters, and the bosses were basically telling them, it's just a story I read, the company's denying this, of course, but the company said, well, if you leave, you'll probably lose your job. That's what some people say. The company said it didn't happen, but again, in a situation where storms are coming in, heavy winds, whatever, with the temperatures that we got, 30 tornadoes the other day, better safe than sorry. I'd rather spend an hour in my basement and nothing happened. Not if I had a basement, okay, but I'd rather spend an hour in my central bathroom and nothing happened than ignore it, be sitting in the living room and have the side of my house ripped off. So just concerned. All right, guys. All right, that is 9 o'clock. I know Angry Prepper usually goes on Tuesdays, but he didn't. He postponed till Monday. So I don't know who's on. I know Prepping 101 usually goes on at 9 o'clock, but I don't know if he's on a break right now too. So y'all have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning. Pinball out.